Often people struggle with color combinations, so I picked out a ready-made colorway from the marker set. Hi there everyone, welcome to Creative Coloring with Erum. I have two fabulous cards to share with you, and I hope you will take loads of inspiration from this video. There's lots of easy coloring involved in this session and some interesting ideas for using this stamp. So let's get started. I will use the Decorative Motifs Stamp Set and create two cards simultaneously, side by side. First, I will cut the watercolor hot-pressed cardstock in half. I only need to use one. I will place this panel in the Stamp Wheel 2.0 and stamp both images from the Decorative Motifs Stamp Set in Obsidian Pigment Ink. Then set this panel aside. After this, you can cut a classic Crest solar white A2 panel diagonally. The resulting piece is about 4 inches lengthwise on the longer side, the left side that is, and 3 1/4 on the right hand side. I traced the outline on a spare piece of cardstock from an existing card panel and then cut it out. I did not want my spare panel to go to waste. I have mentioned this before. I don't get classic Crest here. It is valuable to me. And the reason I cut up this panel diagonally because I want my card to look different than the other one. Now I will figure out the stamp placement to cover the entire area with stamping. I will color this entire thing. I am going to use Obsidian Pigment Ink for stamping. And yes, you can use Obsidian Pigment Ink with markers. I have been using this for 4 years now, I think. You can go over any missing lines with one of the pens from the fine liner pen set. I'm doing the same using size 02 here. I will set this aside for now. Going back to the watercolor panel, applying water to the panel, then I will smoosh Sea Forest ink onto a non-porous surface. I'm using the stamp packaging because it's right there, and I will clean it up after I'm done. I will start applying the Sea Forest and spreading this around. I will also apply Blush Rose and Golden Honeycomb inks. I will keep working on this till I have a bit of color on the background. I will later add a bit of ink blending if I need to add more color. But at this point, I try to keep this on the lighter side because you can go dark later, but you can't remove color, right? So let's keep this light. Once I'm done, I will set this aside to dry. You can use a heat tool, but because I am creating two cards, I am in no rush. Moving back to the classic Crest Solar White panel, I will start by coloring the leaves using the darkest green color along the midrib and veins, and then gradually adding the other green shades along the colored strokes. When it comes time to add the lightest color, I will fill in the blank areas. Do not overthink this. Let this sit for a few minutes. It will dry and look good. And this panel will take a bit of time to color because you are coloring everything. You're coloring the background, you're coloring the small elements in the floral motifs. I will color all the leafy bits in the same manner and then move on to coloring the florals. Again, I am only filling in the areas, blending the colors slightly into one another, moving from dark to light, but not trying too hard to blend them. I mean, I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm blending the colors, but not really trying to blend them. What I mean by this is I add a stroke of dark color and then I add a stroke of light color, just slightly overlapping the darker one. So it kind of blends on its own once it dries. The areas are so small that they are not going to be noticeable. The colors are gorgeous and they will do the work for you. So I'll explain again. When coloring, what I'm keeping in mind is that I need to add a dark color and then a light color. Once you add a light color over the dark, it will lighten the dark significantly. And once the thing dries, it will look nice. You will see that as I color the background, because that is a larger area, more visible to you, you will see the effect. Now I will move on to the watercolor panel, and on this one, my florals are going to be yellow, which will right away change the tone of this card, making it look different from the other one, more warmer. Like the first panel, I will color the images from dark to light. You can color the image however you want. Do not overthink this. Just have fun. Also, this is watercolor cardstock, so it's not smooth. You might not like coloring on this type of material, but you will love the depth you achieve. It will soak up a little too much pigment, but God, does it look gorgeous. It will look absolutely beautiful. When using the same color palettes and stamps for multiple projects, changing the layout can help immensely to create variety. You can also swap the colors of the florals. For example, if the bigger flowers are pink and the smaller ones are yellow on one card, try reversing that on the second card. It's a simple way to keep your designs fresh and interesting. Since I'm coloring the images similarly, I won't show you the entire process. Moving on to the next bit, I will use the Sea Forest ink and a mini blending brush to add inking along the edges where the images are. As I mentioned earlier, that if I want more inking, I won't be adding watercolor to the background, but I'll add ink to the background. And we can do that, right? This will add a bit of depth and ground the images. At this point, if I need more color, like more yellow or pink, I will bring in Golden Honeycomb and Blush Rose inks and add those with a light hand to the edge or even to the background as needed. Once done, I will use a jet black ink spray on a pan and add some fine black splatters. And it was here when a big blob of ink dropped on the corner of the panel. So I quickly blotted with a tissue, but then selectively stamped a leaf and colored it in to cover it as much as I could. Next, on a strip of cardstock, I will use dark and medium marker tones to create a colorful striped piece. Now, this is something you don't have to do, but this is customized, right? You are creating your own pattern paper strip. It will match your card exactly. Then I also cut a thin strip of bronzite glitter cardstock and adhered that underneath the panel, just enough to show a bit of it. Right? This adds a little bit of sparkle and it looks so good with the colorful panel. All of the glitter cardstock in this set looked amazing with these colors. Once I added the glitter strip, I added the color stripes piece. You don't have to do this, but these little accents elevate your card design, making it look different from the other card and giving it a unique touch. No one else would have this on their card because this is something that you created on your own. At first, I wanted to use a cream colored cardstock for this, and I already created everything with the cream colored cardstock, but then I changed my mind. So here I am going to use the milk chocolate cardstock, which looks absolutely brilliant. I did not want to keep this cardstock panel plain. I wanted to add a little bit of stamping on there. I used hazelnut ink and stamped one of the images. So to ink the edges, I will use milk chocolate ink. I know it looks dark, but it will lighten. I will apply this all along the edges and smooth it out. This will add dimension and balance. This will also make the panel pop once I place it. Now I will stamp the sentiment in Obsidian Pigment Ink. For the second watercolor background card, I have cut out a card base in Mountain Pine cardstock. And look at that. It looks perfect. And both cards look different even though we are using the same color palette and the same stamps. I just need a few things to make them look different. And you can do the same using the same color palettes, stamps, or even dies. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and love this cottage garden array of shades as much as I do. Let me know which card you like best and which one you'd like to try. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.
Hello there! Did that video just spark your creativity? And do you want more project ideas and inspiration videos too? Well, if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you do click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye!